Fairy tales and fables, I believed. As a little girl, my childhood was full of wonder and excitement. My imagination was unbelievable. From Peter Cottontail to the Tooth Fairy to Santa Claus and even Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, I believed. I believed that we were all created equal. I believed in the American dream. You see, I can remember as far back as the 3rd grade, holding hands with my friends around Black History Month, singing, "We shall overcome, we shall overcome, we shall overcome." And I sang that song with tears streaming down my face. And my teacher thought, like, boy, she's dramatic. But they were streaming down my face because my great-grandmother had shown me pictures of white people and told me that they were our family. And my mother was in those pictures. She was in those pictures with matching dresses with other little white girls, too. And so for me, in my world, we had overcome. Little did I know, but racism, prejudice, and inequality was still alive and well. And later in life, my views were greatly challenged. So I began to examine what it would mean for me to develop voice, to advocate for social justice and those things that are right. You see, my uncle was married to a white woman, and so my first cousins are mixed. They're biracial. My brother is married to a white woman, and so my nieces are biracial. So what would it mean for me to develop voice, even in my own culture, where some feel that African-American men that are married to white women have sold out in that culture? What would it mean for me to develop voice for students of color in the academy who didn't always feel welcome and embraced? And thus, this is why your multicultural affairs offices and diversity offices were introduced to the academy. So while doing this work, this diversity work, I learned that the shame-blame game just doesn't work. It doesn't work. It is totally ineffective in trying to teach about tolerance. I strongly believe that up-close and personal relationships is what changes things. I develop voice by sitting down with those people that look like me and that don't look like me, sharing my story and listening to their story. Inviting the racist and the prejudiced people to the table to have transparent conversations, being authentic, real, and challenging them to engage in a refreshing perspective of being present with their current state, examining their cultural foundation, and allowing them to begin to unpack discriminatory views that perpetuate inequality and supports violence and senseless shootings. Giving them the opportunity to talk to each other informally, across racial lines, across cultural lines, across identity, sexuality, and politics. And this, I believe, will start the process of developing a new paradigm, heightening the awareness around difference. My friends, America needs diversity training from the White House to the prison. President John F. Kennedy said, "Law alone cannot make men see right." He said, "We are confronted primarily with a moral issue." We have to pursue justice and equality in love to reach all people. 1 John 15:13 says, "Greater love hath no man than this, that he would lay down his life for a friend." I love love, and I love people. And I'm so grateful to my mom, who passed away less than 2 weeks ago. I'm grateful for her today because she taught me to love based on the content of one's character and not on the color of their skin. She really did. I said, "Mom, why didn't you tell me about the civil rights movement? Why didn't you preach this stuff in our home?" She said, "Tina, that stuff almost killed us." She said, I wanted you to develop your own perspective, your own ideas. I wanted you to grow and get to know people based on who they were and not my belief system. So later in life, right now, I value what my mother taught me. It's love that will change things. Love that will change the way we deal with one another. Agape love. The very love that fueled Gandhi. Gandhi said, you can kill my body, but you will not have my obedience. I love that. He stood for righteousness and peace. Dr. Martin Luther King said, silence is betrayal. Open your mouth, speak in love, and teach about fairness. They taught us. They trailblazed. Dr. Martin Luther King and Gandhi and countless others. Injustice and inequality are systemic and can only persist if we allow it. Any ism, whether it's racism, sexism, ageism, can only function as the system perpetuates it. So I will continue to believe in the wonderment of real inclusion and equity for Black and brown and yellow people, women, and from folk from all walks of life. I will continue to believe in the wonderment of love and sharing. I will continue to promote refreshing cross-cultural relationships that celebrate diversity and embrace inclusion. Thank you.